Right, welcome back, and back to you, Dr. Nagari. And initiative that has been put by several institutions in Egypt. The Central Bank of Egypt, for instance, has put 150 billion pounds initiative to provide loans to industrial and agricultural plans for the private sector. The initiative of Cultivate ISRA to help small farmers while boosting agricultural output. How do you view those, and what do we need more?
As you have seen, that the initiatives is a reaction of the devaluation of the pound and devaluation of the, as we say, the input of economy in general. So on the side that if we see that interest rates are higher in the banks, so with these high rates, either industry or agriculture cannot survive. So there should be initiatives. So we have been talking about financial initiatives. The last initiatives for both industry and agriculture are 11%. Okay, 11% interest rate. However, that in our committee in the Egyptian Business Association, we have taken the lead to discuss with the Agri-Bank of Egypt about a specific and concessive financial initiative, and we succeeded to come to 5% only for the farmers, SMEs mainly, and for exporters as well. And we have a list of the commodities which will be financed by the Agri-Bank to farmers, and I see it's a very good and very attractive for the agriculture sector. This is a part, if you talk about initiative in finance. But we used always to say that the farmer needs finance and the distribution of his commodities. I can tell that the competitiveness of the Egyptian agriculture is increasing day by day, according to the decrease of competitiveness all over the world. So I have been to Europe last month, and we have seen big problems facing Spain and Italy, which are considered the European garden, as we say. So there was a big drought, increased price of the power, of the gas, high cost of the labors, and accordingly the production of these two countries is facing a big problem with high value, and Egypt is much cheaper after the devaluation of the Egyptian currency. So from this we can see, according to reports, that Spain have imported from Egypt only in the first quarter of 2023, 6 times than last year. And this always, we have to look on 2 ways. I always analyze that although that we have exported 5.1 million tons of vegetables and fruits in the last 7 months, the decree was, the report was issued today. Okay, 5.1 in 7 months, which is tremendous increase for the history of Egyptian exports. But I always calculate the value of each ton were exported. So thanks to the citrus, thanks to potatoes, thanks to onions, but the 3 crops are consisting about 60% of this 5 million. And the value of these 3 crops is not high. So citrus is average $500, potato is average $425, onion is about $350.
We're speaking about kilos or tons. We're speaking about tons.
I'm talking always about the value of each exported ton. While if I look to Spain or Italy, the average is 1,000 euro per ton. So we have always to discuss how we can increase our values and how we can benefit from the water, because the water will be a big issue nowadays and in the future. So at the end...
Actually, you're speaking about a very important point. how to increase our exports outside, particularly of what concerns our crops,
Correct.
vegetables or fruits.
Correct.
We are very much aware of the importance of the hot currency and both.
Yeah.
And we are aware that we have to import things because they are not being cultivated here, our weather and all this, and we can export. So how can we manage to export what they need and import what we need? And that would be a kind of win-win situation.
You came to the point which I am trying to get this debate to this direction. First of all, we should not be happy for attracting investors to come because they are going to use water, they are going to use cheap power in Egypt. Okay.
Any investors? No, we're speaking about the
agriculture.
Okay.
Okay, because of course we are, but we have to divert these investments and divert the initiative, which we have been talking about, producing higher value products. And a part of initiative, it's not only finance; it is technical. You have to deliver specific types of seeds and seedlings, which is going to afford the reaction of the climate change and afford to give a higher productivity for the soil we have. So at the end, I always talk about achievements and about financial initiatives, but it's good. But at the end, you have always to get a win-win situation, as we say. So we are welcoming investors who are coming to benefit of our competitiveness, higher competitiveness. We still have low cost of power. We still have low cost of labors. We have a better condition in the climate change than the North. They are affected much more than us. So we are in age between Africa and Europe, which is not harmed as both of them.
I have only 1 minute here, and definitely Africa and our integration with Africa could be part of a solution. I mean here, in Africa they cultivate things that we don't, we cultivate things that they don't. How can there be a kind of integrated way in order to propose that for the outside?
We of course, you know that the strategic commodities in general is well known and allocated in specific areas. And Egypt is open through a lot of trade agreements with Africa, with Europe, with even Mercosur in Latin America, with the Asian parties, and at the end, it's a matter of trade legs, as we say. It's always there is route of trading. So we have been depending a lot on the Black Sea for the grains and for the oil seeds. We have been depending a lot for the oil and for the corn from the States and Argentina and Brazil. So at the end, this is a global companies which is controlling the trade agreement. But Egypt, I can tell that we have a very good connection and we have always alternatives. I'm not afraid that some obstacles might happen according to the political crisis, but at the end we have to look for the benefit of our location, our higher productivity at the time being, but we still have to work to increase the value of our products.
Unfortunately, my time is out, even though that this is a very important discussion that we're speaking about. I think we'll continue this discussion again in our episode, because we're speaking here about our daily bread.
Okay.
our power,
Yeah,
our
yeah,
ability
we
to
are proud, of course.
to
Yeah.
have our power and our self-determination. Engineer Mostafa Nagari, Deputy Head of the Exporter Association, we thank you so much for being with us tonight.
Thank you, Mona. It's a pleasure to be with you.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
And dear viewers, tomorrow will be another important debate with another colleague. Good night.